Okay, I want to cover the four horsemen of the apocalypse and some other prophetic stuff here. First, I collect artwork from a man named Ruckman here, and he interprets the Bible in little different ways than most people, but his imagery's kind of cool looking. Anyway, so the first horseman of the apocalypse, he has false peace, so he has a bow with no arrow. He has a crown, and he rides a white horse. So he's the false peace. Well, I think the horsemen they come out and they run concurrently all throughout the book of Revelation. And once they're loose, and they keep running until the end when Yeshua comes back. The first horseman is different from all the rest of them because he is the only one that has a crown on. Well, the Latin word for crown is corona. Corona is the same base word we get for the coronavirus, crown. So the false peace of 19 and 20, when we kind of had worldwide lockdown, and the false pieces will keep going on throughout these final days. We'll all be yelling for peace and safety, and then cometh destruction. Then the second horseman is the red horse of war. Well, does anybody doubt that we're coming upon the red horse of war? War's been going on pretty much continually anyway, but with the flashpoint of Ukraine, it could go nuclear here pretty fast. And that war between the Ukraine produces about 7% of the grain consumed outside of its borders worldwide. Now, the U.S. obviously doesn't need grain, but to keep people alive in Africa, a lot of people are going to die because they're not planting stuff in Ukraine right now because of the red horse of war. And as the war expands, crops won't get planted. So as you have war and famine, you have the black horse of famine, and he follows war because with nobody planning and the supply chains breaking down, as we're experiencing now. The supply chains are breaking down even in the U.S., where we are the reserve currency and we're producing, we have basically unlimited money. Now the last horseman is, he rides a pale horse, a sickly horse, and he is the true pestilence which will be coming. And each of these horses will be galloping at the whole time. We'll all be yelling for peace, and the Antichrist will eventually be looked upon to sign a peace treaty before the final war against God. But all these horses ride in tandem, and the horsemen were set off on the great sign, which happened a while ago. The woman clothed with the sun, with the moon at her feet and the stars over her head. And it was an astrological event, an astronomical event, not an astrological event, but an astronomical event. The zodiac above us moves through different portions, different houses of the accepted zodiac, and the woman is Virgo, and this conjunction with the stars and the planets above her head and the moon at her feet and her in the sun sign only happened once in history, and that happened in 2017. And then there's another event that everybody thinks is an astrological or an astronomical event. They're called the Red Dragon, where it takes a third of the stars. I actually think that's when China starts to go to war, because they're known as the Red Dragon. But I believe the horsemen are on the way, and they're already loosened. And remember, the rider on the last horse, the sickly pale horse, was death, and hell followed him. And so we're here in the last days, so get right. We're going into Passover weekend here. Get ready. Time's short. Thank you. I'm out.